How's it going, folks? Here with some analysis of my own tournament games. This was week 1 of Mushi League, also known as ADV League, a team tournament that's open to the public. You guys can register for next season right now if you like. I'll put the Discord link in the description. Great environment for new ADV players that want to get into tournaments. It's kind of a chill tournament environment, and unlike other team tournaments, it's best of 3, not best of 1. So you get actual practice in a tournament sets rather than like just a best of 1, which can be more swingy or matchup based. This is like a proper best of 3 that you get to play, and you get a lot of practice. You get to play every week. You don't get knocked out and then you're out of the tournament like if it's an individual tournament. That's what's nice about this one is if you're a new player, you get heaps of practice, which is always great. Folks, week 1 was up against Disaster Area, who is an interesting player. They bring a lot of wacky stuff like Umbreon and like I think Hydro Pump Gyarados, a lot of crazy stuff. A creative builder. Let's see what Disaster Area brought. It's been a while since I've seen this. We got a Scar mirror match on turn 1. I don't even remember what I was using. This was quite a while ago, but I guess we'll refresh our memories. I'm using a Peck Scarm lead, and we're just trading spikes back and forth. Folks, when you have 3 spikes on either side of the field, Metagross becomes a good Scarm switch-in because they can't do anything anymore. They can't make any more spikes, and you can just mash them, and they can't touch you. And here's what we got. We got a Gengar in on a Skarmory. And then I'm gonna Wisp again. A simple maneuver by Jim. I go Swampert. Knowing me, it's probably got Focus Punch on it. I can't remember this team. What is this? Oh, I think this is my Agility Metagross team. That's right. I remember now. So I've got Agility Metagross. I think I've got an Aerodactyl in the back, and I believe that is an offensive Swampert. Yes. Here's the Aerodactyl, which is well positioned. I can go for a Rock Slide if I like. And I do. I get Toxic in the process, but we chip the Scarm down a bit. Maybe that's not a good trade. I don't love that, actually. I could have gone Gengar there, which would have been fine. I wouldn't have crippled my Aero. I don't know about that, Jim. I don't know if that was worthwhile. Was that really the way to go? I don't think that was astute by Jim there. In comes Swampert again, getting dangerously low. Do I go for a pump this time? Yes. We nail the Skarmory, and we outrun it. Folks, offensive Swampert is one of my favorite Pokemon in Gen 3. You threaten the absolute world. The ability to threaten, Blissey and Skarmory at the same time. And here's Mantine, honestly. Who could have anticipated such a thing? In comes Mantine. And that was a bit epic, I got to admit. I have to admit that was epic. We're going to Toxic the Bliss, hoping to force it out. Hoping as well that this can't Thunder Wave or do anything nuts to us. I go Jolteon on a switch out. It looks like this is Superman with a Blissey and Weezing and Mantine. So this is an insane team. I went for something nuts there. I went to Metagross. I thought something. I thought a switch to Blissey was coming. I go for a Double Edge. Nice chip on Flygon. I'm really hating myself for getting Toxicked earlier. Poor choice, for sure. That was not a good Rock Slide to the Skarmory. Not very good. But Gengar looks beautiful in this matchup. Wisp is a free click, and you threaten just about everything. We can go Aero here. One last hurrah for Aero. Well, there's a few more hurrahs available. I went for a Rock Slide that time. Thought that they might expect a Double Edge that time, so a bit of a mix-up. But an astute switch to Flygon on the Rock Slide, of course. Getting me the hell out of there. I look like I'm getting a bit owned. I don't remember how I brought this one back. We boomed on the Mantine. I felt like that was necessary, I suppose, so that offensive Swampert can start actually doing something, although offensive Swampert is on its last legs, so who knows if that was worthwhile. And it's a Miss Drevis last, of course. A Miss Drevis last was attempting to come in on double edge right there, so I go Gengar on the Flygon now that I'm locked in a Rock Slide. Try to hit the Flygon, and then... yeah, I don't call out Blissey, I just go for the free Wisp, which is always good. But now I can get Aero in one last... this is probably Aero's last hurrah. And a correct guess on my click goes Flygon. I can, of course, go Gengar. I can Wisp this. That is something. I get Sludge Bombed. I don't know what Disaster Area was thinking on that one. Perhaps a switch out somewhere to Aero or something. Something like that. Oh yes, because Disaster Area was threatening to Wisp my Gengar. I think I remember this moment. I was like, you're probably going to try and hit my Aero that's going to try and come in and take the Wisp because I'm already toxic, so maybe you're going to try and nail that, so I'll stay in one time. I think that's what I was going for. Hard to remember exactly my mind state at the time, but that was probably my idea there. I go for the Rock Slide that time. It's just a series of mix-up with this Aero, and then I just sack the Aero at this point. I could have gone to Gengar and saved it for a sack later, but decided to just lose it there. And I can Wisp again. How does Jim win this one? Swampert getting toxic. That stinks, but this Swampert can threaten everything available. I do go for a Focus Punch, which takes out... no, it doesn't take out Skarmory. Oh dear. Jim, what happened? Uh-oh. We can Ice Beam. Swampert's dead and on arrival anyway. Just Ice Beam, don't screw around with it. Okay, we can just react to this Weezing though. We can of course react to Weezing. The thing is that I think we just win this with a simple Skarmory sitting against Weezing for the remainder of the game. It's a very simple situation. Because the Weezing is getting too low. The Weezing is too low. We get a Drill Peck off. I go to Jolt and I take the Wisp there. Jolt is my least useful Pokemon now. That's so true. And I can just sack the Jolt in order to get my Gengar in at this point, or my Skarmory. I do save the Jolt for a potential sack with Spikes later, which is always good in Gen 3, folks. To have a sack that dies to Spikes, because it kind of denies your opponent from being able to do anything. That's always nice. And right here I can do it. Right here I can prevent this Pain Split with this Jolt sack. Oh, well, my bad. I was slightly off from Dyna Spikes, but same idea with the Pain Split getting denied. And then now Skarm just wins the battle. I use Roar, which will allow Skarm to come in and select Toxic, which will hit both Blissey and Flygon. Wasn't this a weird endgame? I remember. Vaguely. This was a weird endgame that took a while, I think. We go for Toxics repeatedly, and then, like, Blissey can maybe stall me, but... I did at some point nail the Flygon, so there's kind of no way. Unless an Ice Beam Freeze is the only way. That's the only way. The only chance is an Ice Beam Freeze. And I'm trying to Toxic this incoming every time. If I can. So that it can't get more opportunities to Ice Beam Freeze me. Yeah, I think my Gengar this game didn't actually run Explosion. Don't remember the precise set. Anyway. Weird endgame there, and kind of a weird game. It wasn't looking good for Jim for most of that, but we were able to somehow, you know, make the progress. Mostly the Gengar click and wisp over and over was our main progress driver there. And the arrow a little bit. The arrow got a crucial hit on the Misdreavus, got a couple double edges off. It was guessing games with arrow repeatedly. Alright, here's game 2. I'm bringing Tyranitar and Blissey. I'm a real innovator in Gen 3. I really bring some wacky stuff that no one has ever really seen. A Toxic Melodic. I want to check if it's got Refresh or not. I can exit momentarily while it clicks Refresh. Scarm is kind of nice versus Melodic. You can shrug off Surfs while chip healing and make spikes in the process, which is always good for your long-term prospects. I want to go to sleep here. Oh wait, this is my Charizard team. That's right. This is my Charizard team. I remember this. I was thinking about this one for a while. And I figured, let me go to the tar and try to... I was like, do I want to risk this? Because if it's a Jolly Breloom, I'm screwed. I will just lose Tyranitar, lose a Pokemon, and rather than sleep sacking. So my thought was, I don't think that this is a max speed Breloom if it's not leading. I think that most Brelooms are adamant if they're not leading. Because if you're in the lead slot, you want to outrun Jolly Tyranitar. But other than that, Breloom much prefers being adamant. It much prefers the damage output. So I figured, I'm doubtful that this is... But it was. Damn. That's alright though. I get a free switch to Charizard, which hopefully is good momentum here. I HP Grass the Melodic. Nice one, Jim. Well done. Let's me get another free switch, which I can use to go Scarm. And I gotta be careful of the incoming Breloom who can get a free Spore. I'm pretty behind now. I make another Spike. Alright. And we do have Gengar. I dodged Zapcan, which was lucky. But also, I mean, it's 50-50. You can't be mad at Zapcanning missing, really. And I actually expected a Pursuit Tyranitar, so I got out of there. But it was an Umbreon, who Disaster Area is a little bit famous for using a lot of. I think it's a cool Pokemon. A little bit underexplored. I'll return to it one day. It's hard to build with, but I think there's got to be something with Umbreon. It's got a Wish Pursuit. It's got cool tools. It destroys Gengar. And yeah, similar idea to a Pursuit Tar here. It's a Pursuit user that is a bit bulkier with Wish support. And now Swampert is forcing that out. I go Scarm. I gotta sleep somewhere. I'll go sleep on Swampert. I figure, you know, probably no Tyranitar here or something I super need Swampert for. If, you know, worst case, I got my Scarm, which handles like Salamence if you got a Salamence or something. If you do have a Tar, I'm in big trouble though. My belief is that on Umbreon usually goes Sandless because it's really good to Wish support stuff like Snorlax or like even Melodic right here that don't want Sand Up while also being a Pursuit user, you know? At least that's when I've built with Umbreon. That's like my main thing that's a benefit of it. But I guess another benefit of it is you have a Pursuiter plus a Tar that is not a Pursuit Tar, which is another way that it could be good. And in that case, I would be a little bit effed by putting my Swampert to sleep. We make more spikes, folks. We make additional spikes. It's a Moltres. I go to Blissey. And Blissey has Thunderbolt, so I can at least do damage to this Melodic. It's a little bit awkward, but I think like the combo of Blissey and Scam can handle Melodic because they toxic you. You can at least heal once in the interim there, and then while they're healing, you can get Scam in and just reset the situation. And they don't do that much with Surf because they like at 33 is a decent amount, but then you chip heal after, and then you could chip heal again, and they're not chip healing; they're getting sand chipped. So yeah, while he's refreshing, I get the free raw. I chip heal even more. It's Fire Blast Molt, which tells me maybe it's Timid Molt. If you're Timid Molt, you need the extra firepower. But Modest Molt usually just runs Flamethrower. I tried to get the jump on Fortress there, who could have easily come in against Skarmory to try and spin, but... Or even Zap Cannon the Gengar, get something going, but... Goes Melodic, which is fair. I can get my... went for a T-Bolt there. I think Disaster Area got a crazy spin-off here. This was a situation where I was threatening going Gengar, but I was like, oh, you can Zap Cannon me. I don't like that. Plus you got the Pursuit. There was such anti-Gengar stuff going on that a spin here was actually a game of play. Because I'm so frightened to go in Gengar, you know? You got Zap Cannon incoming Gengar, you got Pursuit incoming Gengar. It's all Gengar's got the big target. And then I got a random crit on the Furry. Which was very lucky. I apologize for that one. That was pure... That could have been pure nonsense. I would describe that as a little bit of nonsense. I kind of just had to get through this Furry. I wasn't sure what to do. The matchup isn't great for me on paper because this is an offensive Gengar. You have Zap Cannon, Furry, and Umbreon. I kind of just have to... you might have exploded there, got rid of my Blissey, or even just made a Spike, which was also good for you. If you exploded, that sucks because you would have taken out Blissey. Maybe I could have still won because I do have Charizard and Gengar to kind of handle Moltres, and then I've got Firepower here, but... Yeah. Obviously very advantageous. I get to keep my Blissey, which means Moltres can't really break through any longer. And I go Zard on the Breloom, which deals a lot of damage with Punch. I go Scam on the Melodic. Charizard does force in Melodic, and getting Scam in here is nice. I get an extra chip heal, and I get to make a Spike now that Furry's dead. And here, Bliss being up is obviously excellent. I did go Gengar this time. Trying not to be as scared to go Gengar, I figured, because... And then I go Scam on what I thought would be Umbreon. So nice Focus Punch. Nice Focus Punch. This is a little bit of... We're dancing around the issue. Couple of gamers dancing around the issue. You're punching my damn Scam trying to get the jump on Umbreon. This is the Umbreon just existing is making me frightened for my life, you know? You never even go into the Umbreon, but its existence is influencing how I'm playing. And making me second guess every choice I make. I half expected Jim to go for a Toxic there on an incoming Moltres potential, but it didn't happen like that. To go for a Toxic there would be a madman's decision, which is why this switch into Molt was good. For me to Toxic there, I'd have to be out of my mind. It's a situation where, like, risk-reward assessment is good in decision-making. The Disaster Area just exemplified there. For me to Toxic there, I am risking losing my guy, which makes it way less likely that I would do that unless I'm a maniac. So that makes this switch to Moltres for Disaster Area way better. Because my odds of clicking Toxic are decreased. And the Breloom double on my Blissey. I gotta say, Disaster Area is playing very well. I gotta give respect here. I do get Charizard in on the Breloom one last time, which it could have died to Focus Punch there. So dangerous situation. Breloom might have expected me to call out Focus Punch and Ice Beam on the Focus Punch. That's something I could have done to just kill Breloom if a Focus Punch came out, which is dangerous. So maybe Breloom doesn't want to die and is happy to just Brick Break whatever comes in rather than Focus Punch. I can do a Blaze Boosted Fire Blast, which is about similar damage to HP Grass on Melodic, I think. So no need to go for HP Grass in that situation. We get Scum in on the Melodic Healing once again. And what do? I make another Spike, which is nice, honestly. I Protect, of course. That's a free situation. I just sack the Charizard. Alright, Jim. Alright. In comes Gengar, who is very scared of this Umbreon. We just kill the guy. Umbreon can't quite one-hit even an offensive Gar, so we can switch out one time. Take our one use of Gengar to take out this stupid Breloom that we can't really kill otherwise. It's a bit hard to get Charizard in safely there ever. And then Charizard is answered by Melodic, who doesn't want to come in against Gengar because Gengar threatens Thunderbolt. So Gengar is kind of the only way to force the issue against this Breloom there, I guess. Even though we take the unfortunate 72%, 78% on Pursuit. I click Roar. Toxic looks like a good click here. It would hit the incoming Moltor. And of course Steelix, which is a kind of a nice thing to have here. It blocks Toxic. Just an insane squad, really. A really crazy squad. Steelix. The viewers at home, they're going crazy. They're going nuts over the Steelix entering the battle. But here's the thing is that this... a Steelix without a Magneton is very Skarmory vulnerable. And in general, I think Skarmory is gonna be a big player in the outcome of this one. And I'm trying to Spikes Chip this Umbreon down to enter range of Gengar Thunderbolt, because then I would win the game if that was the case. I tried to Toxic a Molt coming in. Probably, I don't think Disaster Area would risk such a thing. And Booms on the Steelix to get Molt in safely for the last hurrah of Moltres. I can now sack Swampert because Breloom's dead, so I no longer need to have the Sleep Sack alive. But I can just go to Blissey against Moltres very easily. And Blissey looks pretty excellent here. We can just... That's just a Toxic. Which is that's gonna help a lot. And that was a pretty free Toxic. It would hit anything. We go Swampert and we can just sacrifice ourselves, of course. I don't know if I liked that. Shouldn't I have healed up there? Maybe should have healed up there, folks. But now there's no more Fire Blast, notably. No more Fire Blast, so I can go back Blissey, perhaps. A Roar. And kind of a great outcome there, the Skarmory. Okay, the Umbreon can Wish Protect back to health a single time, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It's now dead, meaning that Gengar can win the battle. What are we doing here? Jim Sack and Swampert, which is pretty epic. Going for Ice Beam freezes, I guess the best thing I can do at this point. Not much disaster area can do here. So, this is a rather simple moment of Scam and Bliss repeatedly switching out. So the end Melodic can't exactly do much about that. And yes, that is a victory with some T-bolt paras, etc. Folks, I apologize to Disaster Area for that crit on Fori. That was unfortunate. And the Zap Cannon miss on Gengar, I guess, although you can't be as mad about that one. That's a 50-50 situation, but I think it was a good set, even though I got a little bit bailed out in this one. That's kind of what you need in a bad matchup, though. Good bring into Jim. This is a good bring into Jim. This was a bad matchup for me. Against Jim's Big 5 Zard, this was a disaster. We got the Melodic, destroys the Charizard. The Umbreon should destroy the Gengar if it can ever nail it down. And the Fori. What the hell do we do against the Fori? In theory. Great bring. Unfortunate outcome, but... Yep, that was the first set of the bunch. I'll go through each one, folks, in the future. Hope you enjoyed this slightly unhinged commentary here, but plus I didn't remember a lot of stuff that happened, but fun to refresh my memory on this one, reflect on my games a little bit. Always good to reflect on your games, folks. Look at what you did. I noticed misplays. I don't know why the hell I rock slided in the face of that Skarmory. That was so dangerous for no reason. I could have easily gone to Gengar there. With very little risk associated. No need to... I mean, chipping the Skarmory by like 35% is really not worth getting toxic. That is not a good exchange at all. And I would not advise such a decision. And I'm not necessarily too displeased with how I played this second game. I think that this one, given the situation, I knew there was probably a Pursuiter. I was being careful around it. I don't know. Did I F up anything? Not sure. Maybe the Tyranitar play was unnecessarily risky, but that was kind of just like a team building read attempt. I was like, I doubt that you are a speedy Breloom here. That would be unlikely, but I was incorrect on that one. And I just lost my whole Tyranitar, which, you know, if I had that Tyranitar up, it's a different game. Look how much Mixtar threatens this squad. Especially because it's Rock Slide Mixtar, which is great into Moltres. It hits Fori, it hits Steelix. It's even nice into Umbreon. With spikes up, you hit him with the Brick Breaks. Anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you to the patrons. New patron, Biff the Banana. Thank you very much. I'll give you... Your team doctor is coming soon. I've already started working on the squad. So you can rest assured. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. You're the best.